Hello. Hello, folks.
Play the song. Play the
And
song.
welcome to We the People. This is the American Soccer Podcast, where you're going to get to know everything that you need to know about the U.S. men's national team. I'm Clayton. I'm a rapper.
I'm Ty. I'm sad.
And we still love the Nats.
We suck.
It's we the people. It's we the people. It's we the people. It's we the people.
Eternal sadnesses for this, our post-game coverage of the Hex versus Mex. This game would end 2-1.
We fucking suck, man. What happened?
Okay. The purpose of this live stream, folks, is to give you the very real, very visceral reactions, the most rawest of the raw. If you're interested in our full coverage of all the details, tune in tomorrow. For tonight, what we have for you is empty shells of emotion. We are so sad, desperately sad. So what just happened? So we played shitty for the first half. And then we played good in the second half. Bobby Wood had the game of his fucking life.
Believe that.
You believe that. I believe it, as Naruto would say. And then Rafa Marquez sucker punched us. Talk about a blast from the past. Talk about a blast from the past. Timmy, hold on. Not to mention that
started the 2001 qualifier
before Pulisic was alive. Not at 2001, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. He made his debut before Pulisic.
Pretty sure Tim Howard just goal kicked himself out of history. Just goal kicked into the Valhalla of soccer. He just
goal kicked himself into oblivion.
God, that was just
goodbye, Tim Howard.
That was truly the saddest.
It's the Horvath era now.
It's the it's the waiting for Horvath era.
The waiting for Horvath era. Yeah.
I mean, Guzan was fine, but fuck.
So what happened in this game? I think what happened in this game is that Mexico was not dysfunctional. And we are very used to playing a dysfunctional Mexico in this game. And it did not happen. Well, Carlos Osorio has them playing disciplined, confident, good mentality. I thought everyone on the field was quite disciplined, except for Ayala, the sub who came on at halftime.
Yeah, you gave the young kid a chance, and he kind of lost his head a little bit.
Well, and that's natural, but that to me, that's what I'm used to seeing in this Mexico game from more players. You know, I thought Salcedo, despite actually getting sent off late in the game, I thought Salcedo actually had a decent game defensively, and used those two yellows pretty well. One of them wasted the last 2 minutes of the game that we could have potentially.
I know. How is it that after that it's immediate whistle? That's
the referees just don't have the balls to let it go 8 minutes when it ought to go 8 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're just not like.
However, so yes, it's true. We played a confident, well-organized,
super organized,
honestly, exciting Mexico team. Frankly,
and I mean to bring Chucky Lozano, as he's known. This guy, they kept saying Herving Lozano, like uber white people on the broadcast. Herving Lozano. His name is Chucky, because during youth team camps, he was well known for sneaking up behind people at night and scaring the shit out of them. So his name is Chucky Lozano, because he would just pop up out of your bunk bed and scare the crap out of you in the middle of the night.
So got a few game texts here.
You got some game texts. I got some game texts from you.
Yeah, consider those game texts my notes.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna have to watch it again and give you the.
I'll give you guys the highlights of my game notes here before the refined version tomorrow. Bradley's playing like a bitch. Pulisic looks older every game. Incredible literal performance from Chicha. Man, this dude can act his ass off. He has. Yeah. Pretty solid football player. Enjoy the rest of your life doing whatever you dream of, Chicharito.
Whatever you think.
You have all the potential.
Marketing, acting,
man, politics, anything.
Broadcasting.
Jurgen fucking says Pulisic, you asshole. Get with the goddamn program.
Do your research, Jurgen.
So this goal from great assist from Altidore to Bobby Wood. Bobby Wood, game of your fucking life. This
3.
We could discuss this all day, and we the people out there know that we will discuss this all day. This was not hold up play from Josie Altidore. Right. Do not, if you fucking use the phrase hold up play in this counterattack, I will kill you.
Sweet spin and roulette of a defender. No, he demolished Ayala on that play.
He sure did,
and completely made the goal. And then I think Wood gets a little lucky on with his first touch, but nonetheless, like when you're moving backwards to manage to get the first touch to go forwards to give you that momentum is really important. And so I was really impressed with Wood on the play.
I was impressed with Wood all game, impressed on the play. I thought he got a little lucky with the finish, actually, rather than the touch. I thought he set himself up just right.
A little of both.
But this is vintage Bobby Wood. It's like, was that really good? I think it was.
Good? Yeah, exactly. It somehow ended up in the back of the net.
Yeah, I don't. So Bobby Wood and Josie Altidore showing up in this time of need when we don't have Dempsey or Giassi Zardes.
Yeah, I mean, what were we ever going to do without Giassi? So I thought Bobby Wood had the non-moment of the match when it was shortly after his goal. Bradley and he ended up on a breakaway, and Bradley fluffed a shot instead of spraying it to Wood for the goal. I thought that was the game.
Yeah,
and so that encapsulates, I think, everything about the game. Wood was our most aggressive and important attacking player. Bradley was terrible, and we just couldn't get any consistency up front, and that's how we ended up with this, we didn't have a cushion going into those last couple minutes. We might have been able to pull away. We had that 30 minutes of time after the half where we were completely in the ascendancy. I mean, I don't think they had a shot until Marquez shot.
The second half was all ours. It was begging for a Pulisic breakaway or something, but it never came. Yedlin, ineffective as always.
And I think a lot of Pulisic's being limited was good defense by Mexico. I think they kept him in front of them, especially after the negative first minute when they switched to a 4-man defense. According to the commentators, they lined up in a 3-man back line, and then unlike us, they figured out that that wasn't necessarily for this game, and they switched to the 4-man back line quite quickly. And I think that enabled them to keep tabs on Pulisic in a way that they wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. We suck. I mean, we don't suck.
We don't suck. The thing is, this was a pretty good game, and the reality is Mexico is playing with fire. Mexico is a fucking hot team right now, and that's cool. All credit to Mexico for being hot right now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? They're on point, and they, that's a part of this rivalry. That's an important part of this rivalry. Listen, guys, you don't always win.
You don't always win, but when you have lost 15 fucking years at home, it does really suck.
It stings. This stings. The thing is, a tie would have stung.
A tie would have stung too. Yeah,
exactly. Sucker punch brought us down to the depths.
Why you don't change your left back late in the game?
Oh my God!
You bring on.
Are we even going to go into this right now? Fucking Michael Orozco. When we're knocking on the door?
Are you kidding?
Can we please?
There's no worse decision. Like, please, any of the guys on the bench.
Bring in anyone for anyone.
Gooch would have worked.
Gooch would have been great. Julian Green would have been fun.
Baby Julian.
Baby Julian for another Belgium. Come on.
It was rough. That was rough to watch. Because of the Howard sub. And this is another factor of the game that I think is really important, is that this Howard sub really took the air out of our balloon
It
late
sure
in the
did.
game
Well,
when we should have been able to
early
take
in the game.
gambles.
Yeah.
Didn't late. I thought late because changing Howard for Guzan in the 40th minute, it doesn't matter too much. But then when you get into that last 15 minutes,
I see what you're
that's when
saying.
you really need that fresh blood, and you need someone to come on, like not only who's physically sharp but who's mentally sharp. Someone who might think like, maybe I should be on the back fucking post for the corner. So
God.
I think
Michael Bradley almost Olympicos. He's obviously going for the Olympico classic. He went for it twice in this game, which is
ever since he did it once at a friendly against Panama, he goes for it every time.
He sure does. He must be hitting it in practice, right?
He's probably nailing it in
guys.
practice. I mean, he was only 6 inches away from it on that one corner that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Where
let's hope he's hitting it in practice.
He was like, guys, more in. Like you have to hit the target if you're gonna compromise the entire set piece. Well, Michael, Captain America, I love you, but
it's
probably time. I think it's time for a little benching. To me, I think it's time
I was gonna say this man is wearing the captain's armband. I think the armband's got to go to someone else, let alone the starting spot.
Maybe.
In this type
that would be enough
form,
of a symbol, and like really what we need right now with him is a symbol, right?
Yeah, this kid, this grown ass man needs to step up. This father needs to. I mean, listen, Michael Bradley, he's going into the eve of his career. He's at the very, very early beginning of the eve of his career with this team.
Yeah, he's in the pre-twilight.
He's the tallest midget.
Like, the magic hour.
Shortest giant.
He's in the magic hour of his career.
So,
where he still looks good, but nighttime's coming. Buddy.
Yeah, anything. So there's two ways people will want this to go. One is wanting him to be prime Bradley, and the other is wanting him to embrace late stage Bradley. I want him to embrace late stage. It's time. Embrace late stage Bradley. Go for a zero possession loss game.
Right.
Fucking
exactly.
Slow down, play smart, be the dude who plays negative, do what you got to do.
Right. I mean, in some ways, he has to revert, to a younger, less gifted version of himself, because I think we had a maybe 2-year period where he was able to play both a number 10 and a number 6 at the same time.
Yeah.
And that was fantastic, but I just don't think he can have that kind of range anymore. And it has compromised his core skill, as you're saying, which is just like getting the ball and not losing the ball. It's absolutely astounding to me how many professional players we can have on the field at once who just boot the ball out of bounds. Like how many situations in which there's so low pressure on the it's Gonzalez in a normal game situation. He's just like
Gonzo had a good game. Lay off Gonzo for one day.
I mean, he among everyone, but to me, it looked like our guys had a lot more trouble upholding
with the
Dos a Cero
basics.
kind of mystique than their guys had challenging that mystique. And I think part of that comes from a bunch of these players not having been a part of the rivalry before. It seemed like Marquez was really the only kind of fixture who we've seen in a lot of these games.
I think a lot of the players who were on the field for Mexico felt like the reason Mexico had lost so many times was because they weren't there.
Because they got screwed and snubbed. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, totally. It makes sense. And I don't know how we combat that going forward. I guess in some ways we can hope for more dysfunction from the Mexican side, which it seems like they have quite a long legacy of. But
here's the thing: we don't want to win this war by dysfunction on Mexico's
No,
side.
We
want to win this rivalry by being the superior class of soccer playing. And the sad and difficult truth is that we had our best 11 players in the nation playing today. This was a solid outing from a solid group of players who were in form, got a little fucked by management with a weird formation at the beginning. But otherwise,
I wanted to
this was a good team that got beat by a better team.
I think that's accurate. I mean, to speak to the formation, I think I was surprised by how poor we looked with the three back. And I guess it just goes back to there. I think like you can do one kind of challenging thing per game, which is that you can change your formation, you can change your personnel, or you can be in a pressure crunch spot. And I think we kind of used two of those bullets at once, where we were going into a game that was so difficult and so challenging against such a good team, and we were also changing things up. And I think that was just a little bit too much to handle tonight.
Yeah, and it's difficult to tell who's holding the reins right now, because this does not look like a Jurgen lineup. This looks like a player's lineup, especially with Tim Howard at the 4.
It was kind of like it was like a player's lineup, but Jurgen still insisted on figuring out how to
on the 3 in the back, right? He was like, "I'll find a way. I'll find a way."
You know, before the game, when we lined it up in our projected 11, it was pretty much what we ended up with after 25 minutes, with Fabian Johnson in midfield, and
which is something that's been happening more and more often.
Right, absolutely, and we looked. I mean, I got to say, aside from one tiny switch off with a set piece, we were quite good. I mean,
in that second half, we looked vicious. We looked absolutely, we looked legit.
Yeah. I thought we should have put them away and didn't. So you know, it was disappointing that we didn't rack up a couple goals in that period of dominance that we had. But it happens sometimes, and you know, we got to pick ourselves up, because the next game, this was a huge game, and all the politics and all the surrounding context of it are so key that it's important to remember it's 3 points. You know, we can move
That's
on.
Right. That's
Next
right.
game is also 3 points.
This is one game in the hex.
Yeah, it's one game in the hex, and you know, you only get 10, but you know, you can afford to slip up once or twice, as long as you're aggressive. And I think so. To me, I was hearing the results come in from the rest of the hex, and it sounded like the other 2 away teams won. It was Panama, and I can't remember who else. Costa Rica, I think, won in Trinidad. And so I think what we might be seeing is the beginning of a little bit of a counter trend with the CONCACAF going away from home myth, where like somehow just because it's CONCACAF, it's like so much more important, so much more difficult than like anywhere else in the world to go away from your home stadium and get a win, you know?
Yeah.
Granted, I mean, you know, the crowds are tough and the travel is tough, all that, but today we saw the better team won. The team with more talent.
We sure did.
Played better and won, and there's no reason why we can't go to Costa Rica and do the same thing. So I think in some ways this should galvanize us that we can go down there and get a result.
It should. And guys, remember that this could have easily been a 4-1 game, very easily. There's no like we hit
first half could have been
twice. I mean, there was a lot of mess going on. So the fact that we're walking out of here 1-2, goal differential will matter in the hex.
Sure,
very important in the hex.
I
mean, I'm trying to draw some positives here. Pulisic did not get injured for life. Pulisic has played another game for us without being injured out of his career.
Exactly.
So
That's
thank God for that.
Another cap without major injury. So we talked about you know, we don't want to just like squeak out. We don't want to rely on the dysfunction of Mexico to win these games.
That's right.
And in order to advance beyond that stage, Pulisic is critical. So what did you think of his performance, and did you think he was worthy of the hype that he got coming in?
I thought his performance was good, not great. I think he did have 1 or 2 moments that were showed his youth, such as just as you had mentioned before the game. He did, I think, have a couple of the moments that Americans will stop Americans from understanding how great he is.
Right,
I will say that he actually looks older than the last time we saw him play, which is hilarious. I will also say that he is not the only thing that Americans saw tonight that frustrates me. Another thing that Americans saw tonight. So moving on from Pulisic, no major errors from Pulisic. Right. Very happy with his play, but I think he got a taste of what it's like to be the best player on your team. He was marked out of this game. He was pushed and pressured. He had very high expectations, and his role was enormous tactically for this team. And That's not what it's like for him at Dortmund. So it's going to take him some getting used to. This was the first true test for him. And I think he passed, so to speak. As Tenacious D would say, D plus passed, which is great. Which is great.
Fucking passed.
Passed.
I think actually the 3-5-2 affected the game in an overarching way, but also in an individual way, where it threw off pretty much everybody. It seemed like kind of it was in a funk, even after we finally switched to the 4-4-2 and started to look a little bit better. It took guys a little while to get accustomed to their roles again. And Pulisic was definitely thrown off being played in the middle, which he really hasn't done at all.
He tried. He has the you can tell he has the tape reel in his mind of Iniesta. He knows. He gets it. He gets it, but he doesn't have the reps. His passes weren't weighted just right.
And you saw coming out in the second half, within about 30 seconds of kickoff, he got to the byline and whipped a great cross in that almost led to a goal. It was like a goal mouth scramble. So
I mean talk about reps. He's done that 100,000 times.
He's done that 100,000 times, and you can see that for Dortmund, and you see that here. So I think to me, the way to maximize the USMNT right now is to maximize Pulisic. And for me, that's putting him out on the wing. I don't love him in a 4-man midfield because I don't think defensively that he's stout enough to make it happen. But I could see something with a little bit of a shift where, maybe it's like Wood playing a little bit deeper and Josie playing more of a point striker role with Pulisic out wide. I think that could make sense. And I thought Wood and Josie were one of the big pluses, takeaways from this game as well.
Yeah,
clearly they can play together.
Yeah, the Wood-Josie partnership is for real. And I had this crazy thought that couldn't you imagine a hypothetical team where Josie Altidore is that striker who doesn't score? A good team, I mean. There are good teams and that have two strikers, and one of them actually scores, and the other one is kind of a setup man. Couldn't you imagine a good team where Josie was a really solid setup man for a good striker? Not Bobby Wood. Other than Bobby Wood.
I don't think
is this a positive thought?
It kind of reminds me of bunting in baseball, where people think as long as you can just go out there and get the guy from first to second, you've done a good job. It's like you just can't afford to waste outs in baseball, and I don't think you can afford to waste slots on the field in soccer. So to me, I think you have to do it all. In order to be a great team, if we want to rise to the level where we're, getting to the semifinals of a World Cup, we want to advance to that level and raise our status.
Yeah, Jurgen was quoted in this game as having said, Pulisic is great, he's doing great. We just need more like Pulisic.
Yeah, right. Problem solved. I did it, guys. 3 at the back, and we find more Pulisic.
We just need 11 Pulisics. If we just had 11 Pulisics, we'd be fine.
Absolutely.
That is not that. Maybe that's what the technical director should be saying. That's not what the manager should be saying.
Right. The manager should be saying, "I've been studying the tape and I'm ready to rock. I know exactly what to do." So
yeah, we've discussed on this show how Jurgen is anomalous in his double job position in our federation.
Right. And I mean, I think clearly we have something to work with. I feel that we started the Hex last time around with a 2-1 defeat in Honduras with Timmy Chandler central. Timmy Chandler sucked it up in that game and did well in this one, but it kind of
Timmy Chandler, good on you, man. You didn't.
It reminds me of that feeling that I had on that cold day in February or whatever it was.
Listen, we can have flashbacks to losses all day, but nothing is as shitty as losing to Mexico. Nothing against the nation of Mexico. Love you guys. Everyone I've ever hung out with from Mexico is what's
up. Exactly.
However, we fucking hate losing to you. It's the worst. It's the worst.
How much of a soccer rivalry I feel in my gut, despite loving everyone I've ever met from Mexico.
That is so true. Such a lovable, hardworking, just admirable people.
Always cool to hang out with.
God, we just hate losing to you. It
Well,
just,
you know what it really
it
is.
leaves the worst flavor.
It's Rafa Marquez.
It's Rafa Marquez. Oh God, this is like Dempsey. This is like if Dempsey called in this morning and came in as a sub and scored on a penalty. Okay,
exactly.
That's what this is like.
Or Landon Donovan. Landon Donovan sprinted out of the stand and kicked ass.
Ugh, Rafa scoring on like a header that should have been deflected and blocked by someone guarding the far post.
I mean, I have to admit, I did kind of say that in the moment, and like in general, I think like the best way to defend a corner is to defend it and not just wait for the shot to come in. You know what I mean? Like I think the back post is a little bit of a fallacy in a way.
Ooh, interesting. Because you are giving up a man marker.
Yeah, exactly.
By having both posts.
Right. Like I think the more you can prevent shots from coming in, the better. And then, by the way, hello everyone in the chat. We've got a couple people in the chat now.
Oh, do we? Hey,
we can't see you in the hangout, but I just decided to check, and it's great to have you guys with us. Thank you for joining.
Welcome to We the People. We're immediately going to get bashful and embarrassed now.
Exactly.
Because we've been doing this just for ourselves.
Oh man. So yeah, who else did well? Who else showed that they deserve their place against Costa Rica?
Fabian Johnson, of course. Fabian Johnson is a great player.
Fabian Johnson could play any position on the field. He could
play any position any day of the week. He had I would say he had 2.5 to 3 very good offensive plays and at least one that I can remember crucial defensive play.
Right.
Omar, like I mentioned earlier, man, those of you who've been watching this show know, not a Gonzo fan. I'm not a Gonzo fan. Omar Gonzalez played really well today.
Yeah, he was good.
He was very solid, gave us a lot of confidence, and I can't say that I got the same confidence from Brooks this game.
Yeah, I would agree. And then especially giving away the early yellow on a kind of silly, like he really didn't have a good chance to get the ball on that challenge where he gave up the yellow, and that really compromised him, I thought, the rest of the game.
It is, and that's exactly what we fear for with Brooks is plays like that where he's caught out, he's very far up, he's no longer holding the line, he's annexed himself from the line and he's gone to do his thing. He's gone rogue, and he did it other times in this game too. He didn't get punished, but there were a number of times where he was like pressing their back four after a corner kick. It's like, bro, this is the part where you get back.
Bro, you gotta sprint. You gotta get your
I see him checking back like as if someone's there, and he's like, "You got this. Right. You're gonna cover this."
By the way, if you are enjoying our little post game here, you can find the full post game recap on iTunes. Just search We the People. Find us on Twitter at WTP Pod.
Yeah, please do.
And now moving on from that,
and like and subscribe, bro.
Like and subscribe.
Don't forget the YouTube tags. The YouTube tags. So this has been literally the hugest game of any competition in sports in the past, present, or future 100 years.
Future of sports as an entity. No,
this has been the competition to rival all competitions, and we fucking lost. Can you believe it? America, we lost. We walk home losers tonight versus, frankly, a better team. The Mexico team showed up very strong. Dos a uno. I was hoping to get dos a dos and start a dos a dos chant. Ruined your win. Dos a
it really does have a big ring to it.
Yeah, there's something about tying that's just not as good as
winning. Yeah. Uno.
So, folks,
it doesn't really work.
We will join you tomorrow. What's our next game? What are we going towards, Ty? What are we looking forward to?
We are playing Costa Rica in the next World Cup qualifier. And
Costa Rica's good, right?
And they are good. They're the third best team in CONCACAF, and we're going away from home to San Pedro Sula. a place
Which, as Mexico will tell you, is so hard.
It's so hard. It's so hard to go away in CONCACAF.
Damn it.
Honestly, I think it's a broader point, but like I was saying earlier, I think the effect of going away in CONCACAF is going to dissipate over time.
Sure. I mean, most of the players you saw from this Mexico team are playing from are used to playing in Europe. So
exactly,
we're talking about a global game and a world that's getting increasingly globalized.
Yeah, exactly. Luis says, haha, I hate losing to USA more than anything in the world. You should see how it affects every aspect of the next day in Mexico. It looks like a funeral. I believe that.
Luis, shout out to Luis.
Yeah,
that's
I
awesome.
can see it. And you know, there's kind of a funereal environment over here in the States too. There's some stuff going on geopolitically that a lot of people aren't very happy with, and there's a lot of strife in the air.
Absolutely.
This don't help.
Yeah, this is tough. We were hoping to be the offbeat, positive American story for the week.
Exactly. Like
instead, we're just neutral. Nobody's gonna necessarily hear about this. Luis, it might be difficult to understand what it's like to be a U.S. soccer fan. In our country, we have to explain to people how many yellows it takes to get a red card. That's how it goes here.
Really promote. We have to really tout the game to our friends and family. But the thing is, so I often say America is not a soccer nation, but there is a soccer nation within America.
That's right.
You know, you wear your shit. You know, you make it public that you're a fan, and people find you. You know, I've got my buddy at the I get to talk soccer with, and you know, it's people kind of pop up in your life who you wouldn't have pegged necessarily as being the person who'd be into it, and they are. So, I mean, I think if you're a U.S. soccer fan, part of your, I don't want to say duty, but opportunity with this game is to strike up a conversation, and whether it's with someone who supports the U.S. or someone who supports Mexico, who you know from work or whatever. Or from you, even within your family.
Yeah, and guys, it's a good time. It's actually pretty fun. I myself am someone who is not an enormous sports fan. I'm an artist and a musician, and most of my time is spent in books and other creative places. And what happened with this team is they inspired me in the World Cup, and I decided to join. And my brother knew all about the team, and it's been a great experience. So dudes, get involved with this team now.
Get involved.
Now's the time.
Get involved.
Now, this is if you get involved with this now, you'll feel like an old school World of Warcraft player going to the World of Warcraft movie when we win the fucking World Cup.
Absolutely, and it's gonna happen.
That's how you're gonna feel.
Happen. It might be after Mexico at this pace.
Yeah, Mexico, you guys might win it too.
You're making me feel a lot better, Clayton. The sadness scotch is going down well. Hey, however, where can you find us on a regular basis?
Yeah, so guys, if you've tuned in and it's your first time experiencing the whole We the People thing, it's just us, two brothers talking about this team, and we love it. You can find us on iTunes. Just search USMNT, US Soccer, We the People, things like that. You'll find us. Rating and reviewing is the number one way you can help us, and we have silly things that we do with the reviews on the show, so tune in to find out about that if you'd like. Also, like and subscribe on the YouTube channel. This is new for us, but it's something that will be part of the show moving forward. So
exactly, yeah. And
if you want to get in on this action, the hottest tickets, We the People YouTube. That is buy it while it's cheap, my friend.
Buy it while it's cheap. Exactly. I'll send you $1. Send me your address.
I will pay you $1 to subscribe to this YouTube channel.
The thing about our show is that we try to be open to any fan, new fans, old fans, people who kind of mostly root for Honduras, but sometimes root for the U.S. or whatever.
All about that.
Whoever you are, if you are into the team, you want to find out more, we want to be the place for that. So, reach out and subscribe, and we hope to make it worth your while.
Folks, I absolutely love a checkered shirt. It's hot. It's back. Checkered curtains as well. Checkered shirts with pockets.
Buffalo check,
The
baby.
check's back, baby. The check's back, bitch. I especially love Sorrow whiskey or Sorrow wine, which is what I'll be enjoying tonight.
Weeping wine.
I love short books because they forgive me for my impatience.
They make you
But
feel like you read a book.
They make me feel like an intelligent person. But I don't love any of that stuff as much as I love the Nets.
Goodbye, people.
Goodbye.